Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and we're going inside the war room with the Miami Dolphins. We're going to take a look at their team needs to see what players could be possible targets to fill those needs. But first, let's take a look at the upcoming selections the Dolphins have in this year's draft.
The Miami Dolphins come into the 2013 draft with a bevy of selections, and they've done a great job in free agency addressing a lot of their major needs. So when you look at what they need coming into the draft, they do need an offensive tackle. They're moving Jonathan Martin to the left side. They also need help at the cornerback position. To me, that's a vital need for this defense. They also need D-line depth, safety help, interior offensive line depth. But let's look at my 7-round mock draft, starting with pick number 12. And the way my mock draft has fallen out, DJ Fluker is on the board when they pick, and I think they have to make this selection. That solidifies the right side of the offensive line. This guy's an outstanding tackle, and now you have a complement to Jonathan Martin, who's going to be now on the left side. Like we mentioned before, the Dolphins have to get better at the cornerback position, and they're lucky to get Desmond Trufant to fall to them at pick 42. This guy has first-round talent, but when you look at him, he's a guy that has gotten better each and every year, and that lets you know as a coach that his best football is ahead of him. And they double dip at cornerback by taking Robert Alford out of southeastern Louisiana. This guy is an outstanding return man, but don't sleep on his coverage skills. Did a great job at the Senior Bowl and was a solid player all year long for the Lions. John Simon is a guy out of Ohio State, 6'1", 255, has a lot of Teddy Bruschi to his game. I like the way he plays defensive end, also does a great job at rushing the passer. So I think this is a great depth guy to have as a rotational guy on that defensive front. The Dolphins continue to add weapons for Ryan Tannehill. Terrance Williams may not even be here at this point in the draft, but in my mock draft, he's fallen all the way down to the 4th round. And this is an outstanding value pick for that Dolphins offense, a guy that is a vertical threat and also reminds me a lot of Keenan McCardell. Reggie Bush is off the roster, and I like that Lamar Miller will be able to get his opportunity to be the starter. I like that fit, but I do believe Le'Veon Bell will give them a better complementary guy as opposed to Daniel Thomas. That's why this pick makes a lot of sense. 6'2", 240 with underrated footwork. And I think Dalton Freeman as a backup center will do a great job on that Dolphins offensive line. Played in a similar style of offense at Clemson. That's why this is a natural fit for the Dolphins. I believe in the 7th round with 3 selections, the Dolphins are able to grab some productive football players like Zeke Motta out of Notre Dame, a guy that can play special teams, outstanding football player, may not be the fastest, may not test well, but definitely produces each and every week. And also Joe Vellano out of Maryland, productive since he stepped foot on campus. I like the way he plays the game, solid depth guy to have in your rotation on that defensive front. And continuing to bolster the depth on the offensive line, Reid Fragel out of Ohio State, 6'8", 308 pounds, can be a swing tackle. He can play the right side, he can play the left side, gives you some valuable depth at that position. Now let's recap what the Dolphins were able to come away with in my 7-round mock draft. A lot of talented players, guys that can start right away like DJ Fluker, Desmond Trufant, Robert Alford. I think these guys can have an impact on that roster, as well as Terrance Williams continue to open the passing game up and allow Ryan Tannehill to be successful. I think the Dolphins will be a lot better this season as opposed to last. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Dolphin fan forums for always showing football game plan support.